Everyone, and welcome to another episode of Ask the Experts podcast. Today, I am honored to have with us Antoinetta Popova. She is a 21 times ballroom champion. She is Miss Bulgaria Canada for 2015, and she is the executive director for Miss Face of Humanity. Now, Antoinetta is not only a celebrated dancer, she is an adjudicator, a coach, and she is dedicated. She's a founder that's dedicated for inspiring new talent. Antoinetta is the visionary behind Danceport Excellence Awards Gala that I've had the privilege to attend, and whereby she inspires new talent, inspiring dancers, athletes, and role models. Without further ado, please give a warm welcome to Antoinetta Popova.
So happy to have you to be on your podcast. It's a privilege, honestly, and I'm very happy that we our paths cross and we are connected now and able to share our visions and ideas about everything this world has to offer. Thank you so much
Absolutely.
for having me.
You're most welcome. So let's start with at a very a young age, you were involved in the visual arts and dance. How have these two passions influenced your life and career path?
Uh, to be honest, since very young age, my mother, my father, they were very intuitive to my talents. They were trying to find what inspires me as a young child, what I like, what I don't like, where my talent might be. So they were just really paying attention to what I'm good at. So I'm privileged to say that I have parents that really gave me the proper tools that I could actually take my talents to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
With that help, I think every child needs the proper guidance in order to be successful in life. Of course, we can all manage to do it ourselves later on, but it's much easier when I have a good start in life and your
Right.
parents guide you through all of those crossroads that you may encounter. I've started dancing for actually first I started with the rhythmic gymnastics when I was 4, and I did fall in love with it.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, Bulgaria had an Olympic champion in rhythmic gymnastics, and that young lady, she used to train at the arena that I was training. So she was my inspiration at the time, and I just, of course, wanted to be like her, like all the little girls in Bulgaria. Um, but I've started getting a lot of knee pain and some injuries, and the coaches there, they said they wanted me to go to sports school and pursue gymnastics further. However, my mom was not having it. She's like, "You're too young to have this kind of pain and these injuries."
Right. Yeah.
So we withdrawn for that, and I pursued art school. So this is where I started my elementary school. Since grade 1, I was always doing art. And actually, art, I started from kindergarten. This is when I started taking my first lessons in art. And I was apparently doing good. And so, I was always kind of pursuing two dreams at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and with good time management, that was possible for a very long period of time until I ended up having to make a choice. And that happened when I arrived in Canada.
Right. Let's talk about gymnastics. I mean, gymnastics is very challenging. It's very gruesome, and the training. I, I commend the athletes who are gymnastics because it really can take a toll on your body,
Yeah, it does.
for
It certainly
sure.
does. And
And
Eastern European training, let me tell you that.
is your
It's
dream?
no joke.
I know it's very hard training. It's very hard. You gotta, but you do have amazing coaches.
Yes,
Eastern European, I guess that's where they instill the discipline
yeah,
in, children. So I got to commend, your coaches because they do instill that discipline. So you need,
absolutely.
you do need that. So let's talk about, can you share a defining moment, Antoinetta, or moments perhaps the challenges that you perhaps faced in your journey as a young dancer and became a multi-time championship. Go walk through us those moments, the defining moments. Did you experience any challenges, and what were the challenges en route to becoming a multi-time championship?
There are all kinds of challenges, and it's really interesting. Every person has their own challenges, and
Yeah,
at the moment that seems like the worst thing that had happened to you, and then you turn around and you see somebody else struggling with something else, and you're like, oh, I've actually had it pretty good, you know. But it started off with having the jealousy with the young kids when, I got the partner from the very beginning. I stepped into a ballroom, and it was, I believe, 6 boys and 14 girls or something like that. And I was so lucky. I had a partner since day one. He was standing right beside me. We looked like brother and sister, and they just put us together because we looked very, you know,
it's the
just like a
same.
match made in heaven, like two
Right.
little cute kids sitting together. And so I got a partner right away. I was so lucky with that because so
Mhm.
many of the girls ended up withdrawing from dance afterwards because they couldn't get a partner.
Right.
And back in the day when I was competing, that was in the mid 90s, it pretty much was only a couple's activity. You could not do it on your own in a way. You can learn and you can hope that maybe if you get good, somebody will notice you and they may want to change partners and whatnot. So it was a very hard journey for all the girls or boys that were left with no partners.
Yeah.
So that was again at the beginning, people were like, oh, she has a partner. So of course there was like a little jealousy between the kids and the parents. It started off like that. But young age was fun. We had a great time. We were competing together. We grew up together, did piano together with my dance partner, and of course that was very helpful for dancing as well.
Mhm.
Further on, it was a challenge finding the proper coach because one coach doesn't always work out from the beginning to the end of your career.
Mhm.
Sometimes you end up having some other needs. And when I was younger, my coaches were great for that moment, but I needed to switch partners. They were against it. And what happened was we kind of decided to go to a completely different studio. They were against that. So we had problems, some internal things that were happening, and they were unhappy with my choice. But to be fair, that was the best choice that I could have done for myself to
Yeah.
kind of pursue my dream. So switched studios, traveled 6.5 hours every weekend in one direction to get those lessons. And again, I was a teenager in the high school, so there was a lot of school that I had to miss, a lot of lessons. And to be honest, that really taught me to be very organized. So I had to spend all the time on the bus doing my homeworks, getting ready, and just be prepared, then go dance, get back on a bus or the train, and
Wow.
come back at midnight and then go to school the next day. So I spent my whole entire high school of just traveling nonstop, getting lessons, and just being the best student I could possibly be, which I
Right.
ended up being so good at school. Um, and yeah, I was somehow managing everything. But again, I think dancing really teaches you to be organized. If you're good at organizing yourself, you can manage to do so many things. So yeah, I did the drawing, the painting, all of that, plus dancing, plus school, everything. And I was quite successful in that. Again, some people are like, oh, she's always missing school. How is she, able to do all of that? And she's not getting any kind of beef from the teachers at school. They don't hate her because she's missing school, but they will all stand behind me and say like, yeah, but she's getting the job done, she's doing what she has to do. So so I never really had friends like that. I had
Right.
a couple of very good girlfriends that they were always by my side, and one of them actually moved to Philadelphia, North Philly, and till today we're good friends and we see each other when we can because we're on the same side of the ocean now. So but that's about it. I never really had like very good friends. um
Mhm.
felt kind of isolated in moments. Most people would just go out with friends, do this, do that, have fun, and I would just be traveling to a competition or something like that. But I would never, never, never exchange that for anything in the world. I think, it's what built me up to be a strong individual and to kind of be successful as well.
Mhm.
And then I moved to Canada, and then injuries start kicking in. Oh my goodness. It was one injury after another because it was
Oh,
fully nonstop. I was told that I have to stop dancing, that I have to do surgeries and whatnot. Um, I had issues with the knees, and a lot of the Western medicine kind of goes straight into surgery, like let's
Mhm,
cut whatever, needs to be cut
mhm,
out.
mhm.
But I took a little bit of a more holistic approach. I did a lot of acupuncture, a lot of different other treatments, and luckily I bounced back and everything was fine. There was no need for surgery, no need to quit dance. Again, being very stubborn and just continue pursuing my dream. And yeah, it was, you name it, from injuries to having some personal issues with people, like all
Mhm,
kinds of situations are
mhm.
kicking in at one point, and troubles when you travel, double bookings, all these kind of things are obviously happening. Some family problems as well on the way. One parent is like, yeah, she has to go. The other one is like, no, she shouldn't have to go. So all kinds of issues were happening along the way, but it's all worth it at the end.
But that is so good. I mean, when it comes to the dancers world, there is some amount of sacrifice that you do go. And although the dancing community is a very small knit community, everybody knows each other. But what I used to see when I used to compete in all the major competitions, but what I used to see, not only is it a small knit, close-knit community, but also, there is that sacrifice, like you mentioned, you probably traveled that far distance by bus to go to that dance studio. You had to make that choice to enable for your career, for your growth, to travel, to go to a studio, far off, travel by transportation. But that is the sacrifice that you'd had to make, and also dancers, but also, and what I see, and also I think the challenging aspect is to find dance partners. People post on Facebook, they're looking for partners, but would you say that is also challenging, that people can't find partners? Or how does that come about when you're looking for
It's
partners?
I feel like it's very much like in life, finding the right partner in dancing,
True.
finding the right
Yeah.
life partner. It's one of the most important decisions you gotta make, I think. It's gonna kind of cause you your whole success in life or not. Like you gotta be high up or you gotta be down below. It's
True.
who stands
Yeah.
beside you, kind of really, it's a big deal. And
Mhm,
yeah,
mhm.
not everybody is able to find that person. It's really difficult. Having the right partner that will match your mindset, your goals, physicality, because unlike life, all in dancing, also physically you have to make sense together. There's certain things, proportions that, I mean, the better you look proportionally, the better you look on the floor.
Right,
And dance
right.
is a very visual kind of art slash sport, because the external eye-pleasing moment, it's so important for a couple to be liked, that honestly, without that, it's hard to kind of even have a successful partnership.
Mhm,
Sometimes, even when my partner and I started, back in 2008, it was at first almost decision based on how we looked together and what our dreams were, what our goals were. It wasn't even if we danced good at that moment together, but it was like, okay, there is a potential, but we look good together. And that was one of the first things that was like, okay, yeah, we've got the look, we've got the same mindset, we got the determination, and we can do it. Pretty much that's how it was, because we came from two completely different styles. We had to adjust to one another quite a bit, and learn together kind of a new style for our own that would fit us as a couple. So yes, it's just adjusting lifestyles, adjusting mindsets, adjusting body types, everything. It just becomes
right.
your whole life at one point. But you're absolutely right. It's really hard. I found my last partner, we found each other on internet, funny enough. We have the Danceport info at that time was very
Mhm,
popular. That was
mhm.
the hub for the dancers that everybody would go be like, oh, who's looking for a partner, who's split up, who's who's on the
Right, right.
market.
Yeah.
So you would go and shop in a way. And that's how we met. And we had a tryout, and it was like, yeah, I guess it's gonna work out. So yeah.
Amazing. So, you mentioned, visually, as dancers, as couples, you got to look good, because when your judges are judging you, so visually, if you look good together, what would you say as one of the criteria as an adjudicator? What are the qualities as an NDC, WDC adjudicator? what are the qualities that you see, with the up and coming new talent? What are the qualities that you see? Is it the
Well,
visual, visually they look good? What is it that you're looking for?
it's a compilation really of everything. So my experience as a competitor first started off with we had this because I was competing in a different federation beforehand for many years. That's where we competed. And actually they changed the judging system because they wanted to get into the Olympic Games. So
Oh,
because of
okay.
that,
Mhm.
they tried to do it very similar to figure skating. So we would have at the World Championships and the Grand Slams, we would be judged by points instead of being given marks. So we'll have points for musicality, for partnership skills, for presentation, for technique, for technical skills, for choreography. So there were like different points and different kind of subject that we looked into, and we had a group of judges that will only check our musicality, group of judges only check our presentation. So it was very hardcore. You had
Right.
to really be prepared in every level possible.
Uh-huh.
But I think it kind of gives you a very good idea of even when I'm judging now, I kind of still stick to those principles. When I'm looking for the best couple on the floor, I try to stick to those principles. Who has most of those qualities? Who can combine, who has a combination of all of those qualities? Because now we mark first place, second place, third place. So it cannot be just a random choice. Oh, I do it because I like that, right? For me, especially coming from a point when I was judged that way, now I
Mhm.
try to judge the same way.
Right.
So I'm not
Right.
giving the pointers, but I'm like,
Uh-huh.
okay, what is your technical skill? What is your footwork like? What is your connection like? How is your musicality? Are you actually rhythmical with your partner? Are you following the music? Are you dancing with the music, or you're just having a music on the background and it doesn't
Right.
bother you much? What is the character? Are you being authentic dancer? For me, I feel this is actually a big one because back in the day we didn't have those videos and internet the way it is right now. When I was competing at the beginning, especially, there was
Mhm.
no Instagram that you can go and check any dancer you want at any time of the day and night. You kind of have to really find yourself and who you are truly. So you stayed very authentic. And now people really copy one another quite a bit. They're like, oh, that's trendy. Let me do that. I'm gonna
Yeah.
steal that step. I'm gonna do that dress. I'm gonna do that makeup. So people become very much alike
Mhm.
instead of keeping their own, right? And you don't want to be just like somebody else. You want to keep who you truly are.
You too.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
so I think for me, now that I'm standing on the opposite side of things, it's like, okay, I'm looking for all of those things and criterias mechanically, of course, but also I'm looking to who is the most authentic, who is different on the dance floor, who stands out, who cannot be copied or replicated, or who can set the new trends. So basically, this is the number one person for me when I'm looking at someone on the dance floor.
Mhm. Exactly. And tell me about the dance. I just want to just elaborate on, for our viewers now who may not be familiar with um, the dance sport in Blackpool. Now,
Hmm.
I've attended Blackpool just once, but I've got to say they are just incredible dancers from around the world. And I still cannot fathom as to how the judges are dancing, um, actually marking these talented dancers from around the world. So, can you just share with us, for the viewers who perhaps don't know anything about dance or the Blackpool world of dance, how is the judging, first of all, compared? Because I still don't understand how they do it because they have incredible dancers.
It's crazy. It's crazy. There's quite a few competitions now with that kind of rank, and it's um honestly, it's who's gonna get noticed first
Uh-huh.
because you don't have a whole lot of time to judge. And even like competitions here, sometimes there'll be like few competitions happening at the same time. You gotta check who is competing against who. So it becomes this like, whoa, 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 I only have 2 seconds on each person, and I gotta make a
Right.
decision right now. So with big competitions, um, you pretty much go by who grabs your eye first,
Hmm.
what drags your attention. So that's why you would see at big competitions like that. People make very bold choices in their costumes. So they're noticeable from far away because it's a big floor and you would see, okay, somebody's wearing bright color from a very far. You can see it from the far corner. My dance partner and I, we did he had bright orange pants, I had an orange dress, so we're like, we gotta be seen. So
Right.
first round is like you have to make sure people can see you. You can't just hide in the corner somewhere and expect somebody to give you mark because you're good. No, you have to be seen. First they have to
Seen.
see your number in the back, you know.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it really starts with first impression, honestly. And again, just like in real life, you make first impression to someone, they like you, they notice you, in a room full of, let's say, 200 people. What is the first impression somebody's gonna have of you? That's how it is. You carry yourself
Right.
on the floor a certain way, your charisma, your aura, your everything about you, it's important. How you I don't want to say it, but the way how you sell your product, which is your dancing.
Which is you, right? And which
Yeah.
is you and your dancing.
You and your
Absolutely.
dancing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. 100% absolutely agree. So you have won, you're such an incredible dancer, Antoinette. First of all, congratulations for your journey and how far you have come. So I just want to congratulate you, but also as a 21 times ballroom champion, let's talk about the mindset because being a champion, once, but you've been 21 times ballroom champion. That is just a hard feat for anyone to get over. So just share with us, what is the mindset that you'd had to prepare for competition? How do you feel? Because I can just imagine as, any athlete, whatever field you're in, is your mindset, the preparation, the time, and the discipline that it takes. So walk us through the mindset. What did you have to do to become a multi-time champion?
A lot of things, a lot of sacrifices first.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
I feel that word is a word that most people don't like, and they're not ready to let go of things that they want to have, like social life, friends, hang out, do this and that. This is the first thing you have to say no to. And if you're not ready to say no,
Sacrifice. You mean
yeah, you
sacrifice?
gotta you gotta sacrifice. If you're not ready to say bye-bye to all the social gatherings and whatnot, and travels with the family, having some family time, friends time, this is the first thing that goes out of the train right away. Number one. So if you're not ready to say bye-bye to those things, you're never gonna really go any far in any sport, I would say, because every sport needs some sacrifice. Whether that's hockey, you gotta get up at 6 in the morning sorry, 6 in the morning training session before school. Well,
Mhm.
what does that leave you with? You got to wake up at 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, go there,
Right,
So it's very
right.
much the same here. It's the sacrifice of, okay, I have to say bye-bye to certain things.
Mhm.
And for everybody, that could be a different thing. For me was I had to work so I can pay for my lessons
Mhm.
and travel and do my competitions. So it was only the training that I would get from my coaches, my coach and teachers. And it would be me teaching as well. So it was that constant in the ballroom. You're pretty much nonstop in the ballroom, just live there,
Right.
open a tent at this point. And there's nothing else really. You miss holidays, you miss family
True.
gatherings, you miss so
Right.
many important moments and milestones in your family that
Mhm.
could really break a family sometimes. So it's whether or not, if you're a younger dancer, if your family is ready to kind of be like, okay, my child, go and do what makes you happy, we will not be mad at you for missing all of these things. Some families don't want that, and some families they'll be like, oh, we're gonna have a pizza night, and we're just gonna get all together, all the cousins, and in the meantime, you're like, oh, but I really have to be at training right now till 10 p.m. I
Right.
can't get this. And some of the family members will not get it, right? So I was lucky enough, my family was getting it. So I was missing a whole lot, but I never missed a training because of any family gathering or vacation or any of those
Mhm.
things.
Mhm.
The other thing is vacations. You don't go for vacations, you go for competitions.
Competitions, yeah.
So that's it. That's your vacation. You go to travel to Australia for competition, which is
Amazing.
better anyways. Um,
Amazing. Yeah.
but
Mhm.
it's yes, it's really, I think the magic word is the sacrifice, number one. That's one. And the next one is like block out the noise, because there's going to be a lot of people who distract you. There's going to be a lot of different opinions on who you are, where you have to be, what you have to do. You need
Yeah.
one person, your coach. If your coach has your back and it has everything lined up for you, and
Mhm.
it's giving you the right directions and it's helping you, you really don't need anybody else to tell you anything. It's just your partner and your coach, and that's it. Nobody else. You have teachers that come, they're guest teachers, they give you guidance, they help you, but even their word, it's never going to be like 100% what they say. You still go back to your coach, you transform that information, you kind of digest it, you go through it, dissect it, and you decide what actually makes sense for you as a couple. So I think you need to have a coach that you rely on. You need to have a good partner that is your best friend. You need to have a lot of will, a lot of power, a lot of mental strength to actually go through all of these. As I said, I call that noise because it's really a lot of noise around us. So, yeah.
Absolutely. There's a lot of noise, and we need to just shatter those noise. But also, I love what you just said. You know, your coach has also got to be aligned with your vision as a
Yeah.
couple. You know, where are you going? Where do you aspire to go? Where do you aspire to be? So if a coach is not in aligned with your vision, then I guess that coach is not the right coach for you.
Absolutely.
But then how
Absolutely.
do you make a
And
choice of which coach is the right choice?
we kind of feel it. It's like a gut feeling almost.
Like a gut feeling,
It's
yeah.
got to click. It's got
Yeah.
to click. It's just got to be like, okay, yeah, that's my person. I can trust him. Till today, like my coach since I moved to Canada has been only one, and I it's gonna be the coach of the rest of my life. It's someone that mentors me, it guides me. His name is Oleg Yedlin. He's been there for me from the very beginning. Every
Mhm.
decision that I make, I go through him,
Mhm.
consult with him. I may end up doing something else than what he says, but I first consult with him. I make sure that, he's so wise. He's been around for so many years. He has the experience, and he's known me for almost 20 years now. So
Oh, wow. Amazing.
he kind of really knows me, who I am.
Mhm. Mhm.
I've traveled the world with that person. So he knows me even probably better than some of my family members. I've seen him more.
Yeah.
So again, the coach becomes part of your family. It becomes your family member, someone that you dearly trust with everything. And it's gotta be, again, as you said, alignment. It works different for different people. Sometimes the coach picks a partner for you. Sometimes you go to a coach with your partner. It depends on the stage that you're at, how old you
Right.
are. Maybe your parents bring you to a certain person, right? And then you're just like, oh, that's my coach now. I don't have a say in this.
Right.
And then you grow up and you just kind of figure out, oh, that person is amazing, or I need something different. And I feel like many coaches, they get offended if a
Mhm.
couple leaves.
Mhm.
Um, but it's not necessarily anything against the coach or how they teach or what they teach. It's just sometimes alignment is off. It's like
Mm.
leaving a relationship. It's not always because the person is bad. It just doesn't work in alignment with
Doesn't
you.
work. Yeah.
So I wish people do not get offended. And I wish that couples, when they leave coaches, they're not afraid to speak, because
Mhm.
many do it behind the back. And this is when it hurts. For me as a coach, I had situations when people would come up to me and say, hey, sorry, we want to take a break. Da, da, da. We just have this and this happening, which you can really appreciate and be like, thank you so much for letting me know. And then you have people that lie to you. They like, oh, I'm going to quit dance. But that same week, someone already calls you and said, oh, I saw your student with that other teacher. What happened? And you're like,
Wow.
what? So
I
situations
know.
happen, right? And it's out of the blue completely. So this is the ugly part of the ballroom world, where somebody
Mm.
just leaves behind your back. And it most of the time comes out of fear because people don't know how to communicate. And they would just be like, oh, it's better if I just don't say nothing and just disappear,
Right.
But that's
Right.
actually worse. It just creates this kind of like hatred, and you kind of have a ick about it.
I know. And then also then trust. I guess trust them is another factor when if a student, want to do that, they leave and they go elsewhere, but they're not, but maybe they're afraid to just tell you that I just don't want to continue. But then when you see them at another dance studio with another instructor,
Yeah.
then you lose that sense of trust.
Yes, exactly. So like, why do I give all my time? You go for fitting for
Yes.
dresses, you draw
Yes.
costumes for them, you do this and you that, you go out of your way, and somehow you feel like you're unseen, or like people
Mhm.
didn't recognize your efforts that you made for them. So
Mhm.
this is the part that, well, I guess everybody needs to like learn and grow and become a better communicator at one point. So not
Exactly.
everybody will do it. Some people will, some people not, but one thing I learned is not to take anything to heart at this point because I understand some people are just scared to talk. Just, just how it is.
Absolutely. But like, business, dance, in life in general, communication is
Exactly.
has to be the critical factor, and
Yes,
communication can drive people apart. They break up, so dancing world is similar to the business world, but it's also similar to the life in general. How do
absolutely.
we communicate to one another?
100%. Like
It's good.
I cannot say it enough times when people say, "Oh, dancing is not so important." Like, are you crazy? Dancing is one of those things that it doesn't give you a skill as a dancer.
Yeah.
It teaches you life skills. It
Hmm.
teaches
Hmm.
you how to put yourself out there. It teaches you how to present yourself in a way that you're
Yeah.
confident and you can either sell a product or speak to a company or whatever that would be. It just gives you that poise, that posture, that confidence. It teaches you those things. It teaches you how to uh, kind of go through adversity and become better in it and not kind of, withdraw yourself, be like, oh, so I lost that competition. I'm just going to give up. It teaches you
Right.
how to have a strong will. It
Hmm.
teaches you how to
Hmm.
communicate with the opposite
Hmm.
sex. It teaches you how to create a partnership, a teamwork. So it's a whole lot more. And you get to travel, which is
And you
what
get
better
to, and that's a bonus.
you get to travel on top of that. So dancing is fantastic, really, truly.
Exactly. And I love that. So yeah, dancing, brings you get to travel, but it broadens your horizons, when that, because you're
Yeah,
traveling
yeah.
and you're competing at the same time. So let's talk about your entrepreneurship journey, the entrepreneur venture you got into, your luxury sneaker line. And I'm just excited to uh, share this, and I'm sure viewers listening are probably excited to know about your luxury sneaker line. So walk us through the process. I mean, it's made in Italy.
Yes.
And we know when it comes to Italian fashion, and they have the best quality fabrics. The craftsmanship is best, compared to none. Um, so walk us through the process. How did you have the creative idea to design a sneaker line? Where did that come from? And so just share us through the process of your luxury sneaker line.
That is a fun story. I went to visit my family in Bulgaria for Christmas about a little over 2 years ago, I believe.
Uh-huh.
And I felt so bored because I wasn't teaching. My mom said, "You're not gonna teach right now. You're having a break." But me, the person that I am, I don't know how to rest. I have to do something. So
Mhm,
for
mhm,
me, I was just sitting one day. I was like, "Oh my goodness, I want to do something. I want to do something." And
mhm.
I stumbled upon this company that was able to kind of bring sneakers to life, like your ideas. And I immediately applied and I sent my resume. It's like, this is what I do. I'm an artist. I finished this
Oh,
and that.
amazing. Uh-huh.
And they responded to me within, I think, a day or two. They said, "Oh, welcome to the team. You're now part of our designer team." I was like, "Oh my goodness, yes, excited." So I embarked on this journey. And right away, I started just, they gave a platform and I was able to kind of design the things the way I would want to. And
Mhm.
I just go ahead as I start doing it because when I get excited about something, I want to do it. It's now or never. I'm just getting ahead of it, you know?
Now or never, yeah.
It's now or never, exactly. I just try to stay open-minded when an opportunity comes. And if it's
Mhm,
a good
mhm.
one, I'm gonna continue. If not, I'll just withdraw. Like if it's not good, it's not good. If it's good, at least you tried, you push yourself. So I start doing that. And I had a lot of fun with it because my creative side came out. Since I stopped competing, I haven't been designing costumes, and normally I would do my costumes, I would do the stones and everything. I would put it there, and that would be like, oh, my creative side is out there. I feel
Right.
happy. I do makeup, so I
Mhm.
feel like the artist in me is satisfied. And this was another way to kind of get the artistic approach a little bit out, and it's there, it's online. I work from time to time when I have the moment to do it. But that was something that I did 2 years ago when it started.
Wow.
And I had to put it slightly aside. It's still links and everything is still out there. It's still selling online. However, I haven't done anything new because I focused on the Excellence Awards Gala, which I started organizing. And that really occupied all my time, to be honest. So unfortunately, the sneaker line took a little bit of a side, like a backseat at the moment. It
Mhm.
is still there and active, but I haven't worked on it as I wish I could. But it's all just time management, learning to navigate through all of that as well.
Exactly. Well, congratulations on your sneaker line, which is so beautiful. And I'm sure, we'll get a sneak peek at some point. But, your entrepreneurship venture, your family, were they entrepreneurs? How did the entrepreneurship leadership in you, how was that cultivated? Were your family members, were they entrepreneurs? Did they have successful businesses? How was it for you? And when you saw the entrepreneurship journey that you were venturing into, how did that cultivate you as a woman? How did that shape you in your life?
Um, I think it started quite early because when I was in the kindergarten, my mom worked as a teacher at the kindergarten. When I switched to school, she kept doing it for quite a bit, and then she just switched up because I was getting good at art and dance. And eventually, she actually opened up her own company for, well, two things. She was doing quite a few things actually as well. But one of them was it's called Art Salon, where we had a part where it's like an art, serves like as an art gallery. And this
Mhm.
is where I had my first exhibition when I was grade 5. And this is where we hosted also art classes, singing classes, and dance classes, and I believe also karate classes. So we had like a
Oh,
little,
wow. Yes.
little,
Yeah.
little ballroom, yes. And the other part was more like the office part and also part of the art gallery, where we also organized events. So my mom was an event planner since I don't know how many years already. It's been really, really a few decades at this point. But she started with organizing dance parties because she's phenomenal with kids.
Mhm.
So she was
Mhm.
organizing weekend dance parties for kids where they would go, they would learn things, the parents come, and she was pretty much showcasing young talent. So anybody that was good at dance, at art, at singing, whatever that might be, she would bring those kids and have them perform, and then that turned into something really big. It became a national thing. She made a art
Wow.
festival in the area.
Nice.
Um, and then further on, she was invited to help organize the Bulgarian dance competitions for the federation. So all the Bulgarian championships, she was organizing, helping with the decoration part, finding sponsors, all of these things. So she
Mhm.
was doing all of that. And I think I grew up since young age being around her and helping with all of those things, whether that's blowing the balloons and putting the decorations together and
Right.
selling tickets, doing all these things. I grew up being surrounded by that. That was my reality, my life since
Mhm.
I was 11, I would say. Yeah,
Right.
11.
Right.
So I think this is what I saw. I saw my mom being extremely strong young woman that is so capable in so many different ways, and she was successful in everything that she would start. She would always, you know, make it happen. My dad, on his end, he had a company for when you go fishing. I forgot how you call those little things that you put on the little hook to kind of get
Oh,
the fish out.
it's like a fish. I mean,
It's not the fish, it's the little hook, and you
oh,
put little prey or whatever that is on the worm. But he would create that food that would attract the fish to come and
oh, I see. Right. Uh-huh.
yeah, cut the
Mhm.
name of the fish. I'm sorry. But he had this company because he's a biologist, so he pretty much developed the formula for those things, for that kind of food. And so that
Mhm.
was his job for a very long time. He had that company, and now he's in real estate actually.
Amazing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Beautiful. So he
yeah,
pivoted.
yeah, he pivoted. My mom pivoted too. She's currently a therapist, actually. Again, I'm no longer in Bulgaria doing those things, so now she's doing something else. And she's a very successful therapist, helping a lot of people. It's regressive therapy, so it's not the regular therapy that you would meet, but it's something much different and quite
Mhm.
new. Not many people out there doing it, so she's quite successful in that, actually helping a lot of people.
Amazing. Congratulations. And your father, he's still doing real estate in
She's
Bulgaria?
doing real estate in Bulgaria, yeah.
That's beautiful. I love that choice. So let's talk about the leadership because people often say when you want to venture into any business, well, first of all, you got to have the idea. What's the idea behind the business that you want to get into? But leadership, there's a we leadership, there's a me leadership.
Yeah.
What would you say, in your opinion, what comes first? Do you have to be a me leader to lead your teams or to lead your employees, or are you a we leader that we lead so many people around them?
Well, because what I've been doing was mostly involving me only so far. I didn't really
Mhm.
have like a huge group of people that will help me with the sneakers or help me with the dance lessons.
Mhm.
It's been mostly me doing all the job, simply because I didn't really need other help. Now that I embarked into the Danceport Excellence Awards Gala, that
Mhm.
journey is quite different because I found myself being capable of doing everything myself. But that is a big problem because it's only one of me. I only have two pair of hands,
Yeah,
one pair of
yeah.
hands, and it's
You
only
got to
that much I can
delegate.
do.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's becoming difficult to do all of those things that I want to do. Now, here is the difficult part. When you have a vision and you create something that hasn't really been done,
Mhm.
it's hard to find the right people that share that vision. So finding the right group of people that can actually help me progress forward with this journey
Yeah,
has been the challenge, really. Yeah, people are like, oh yeah, it's exciting, but because it's not their idea, they're not somebody that will just go and like jump into it and, you
right.
know, throw everything out of the window just to embark my journey. So I think the first couple of years, because this was the second year that I do the event, it's pretty much me trying to bring people and understand why I'm doing this, to understand the idea behind, because it's again so new, it hasn't been done in Canada, and it's something that people are not used to. They have to get the idea behind, they need to get excited about it,
Yeah.
and this is a journey. I think this is the long journey now, trying to get everyone as excited as I am. And it's happening. But again, I have a group of people that I can trust now and that I see they're on the same page.
Mhm.
So, we can kind of bounce ideas off of one another and make it happen. But of course, the team is going to be expanding. And I'll try to really have a group of people that have the same mindset and share the same ideas.
Mhm.
Once that's the case, I'm pretty sure that it's going to be much easier also for me to get to a further point where I actually foresee this going. Um, but yeah, I think it's more about me knowing what I want from this so I can be just as passionate sharing it with other people so
Yes.
they can understand what I want, right? And now
Right.
that I've already done the event twice, I think people now finally kind of get an idea, pretty good idea of what it's about. I think I have a lot more people now that share the vision and they'll be able to support, and hopefully it grows into what I wish it would grow to one day.
That's beautiful. And so I want to congratulate on the Dance Sport Excellence Awards Gala. I had the privilege for attending, last year. And I gotta say, it was just an incredible, just a highlight, just how you managed to highlight all the dancers. You bring them all together and you highlight them. And you had the mayor, Frank Scarpetti, come, which was so amazing. And that only goes to show, Antoinetta, your abilities to connect people. And not everyone has the forte to connect. Not everyone's a connector. Not everybody can. But I just got to commend you. I just got to highlight you for just now, because from what I saw when I attended the event, it just blew me away in the sense of your abilities, how you connected everyone, how you bring everyone together. So everyone, they've got to follow, come to your event next time, because I certainly will, and I'll support you as, but it truly is just amazing event that you put on. So I want to
Thank you so much. It
congratulate.
really means a lot. And I know it was your first time coming, just was it 3 weeks ago? It feels like it was a
Yes, a
lifetime ago
long
already.
time. Yes, it does.
It
Yes.
hasn't been that long actually. But I'm very, very happy that you were there. I'm extremely happy that you enjoyed yourself and you
Mm.
could see what is it behind the idea of it. It really came. I was sitting one day. I was actually at the competition in October, the CNEM gala, which happens at the Harborfront
Right.
area in Toronto,
Yes.
at West
Hmm.
End. It
Hmm.
happens every October. So I went there with some students and I was just sitting and I was like, oh my goodness, it's a beautiful event. It's right in downtown. There's
Yeah.
so many
Hmm.
people
Hmm.
here. There's millions of people in downtown, and the venue was quite empty for what it's supposed to be like. And I felt very sad. I felt all these people, the judges, the organizers, they're putting in so much work to make that happen. The dancers coming from Montreal or for somewhere in Quebec or somewhere in Calgary maybe or Vancouver. They're flying in, they're coming, getting prepared, getting ready, and they don't have the audience to kind of
Oh, wow.
showcase what they've
Right.
done. So
Mhm.
you would have some audience, but it's not like you would see at the basketball game, for example, right?
Yes.
So immediately it just I had this like idea. I'm so sorry, my cat decided to say hello. She just jumped on
Oh,
me.
so cute.
There
Oh,
she is. This is
it is
Sasha.
beautiful. Look at those eyes.
The eyes,
Oh,
right?
wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's
she's
quite needy for
lovely.
attention. So I was just standing there. It's like, my goodness, I wish I could make a difference and have the dancing be one day in my dreams, wildest dreams, to be happening at the Scotiabank Arena, whereas
Right.
all this 20, 40,000 people are coming in and watching a ballroom dance competition. That's my vision. That's my goal, to have people cherishing it so much to that extent where there's just the regular people that don't dance. They just enjoy it. They want to come and support it and see the best
Right.
dancers.
Hmm.
um, this would happen in Russia. This would happen in Australia. We would dance in these huge Olympic-sized stadiums, and they would be full, like from top to bottom. I would dance on
Wow.
that floor, and
Uh-huh.
the feeling is absolutely incredible. You have
Uh-huh.
20,000 people watching you, cheering. It's absolutely out of this world. In Australia, we went and danced at Hisense Arena, where they host all the tennis Grand Slams in December. It's
Uh-huh.
incredible having all these people there. So I've seen it. I know it's possible, but it's
Possible.
not happening in Canada yet. It's just not in the culture of the country as
True.
much. So my my dream, my job, I feel like, as someone that has been a Canadian champion, a world champion, I almost owe it to the country to make a difference. I feel like it's something that I feel that I have to do for the community, for the dancers, for the new generation, help them get to a different point where when the young dancers, they go and win a big competition, win the Blackpool or win a UK Open, they come home and they're greeted and they feel like, oh
Mm.
wow, we did something for the country. People know us, they're proud of us, they cheer for
Right.
us. Get a little bit more help, because frankly we don't get any support. We don't really get things paid for us like that, unless you go
Right.
for a world championship. That's it. But other than
Mhm.
that, you don't get the sponsorships to carry on the cost of all the lessons and traveling and costumes. So that would be a dream of mine, to make a difference.
That's amazing. And I'm sure you will make a lot of difference. And I'm sure I mean, you're already making a huge difference as being the Miss Face of humanity. So the final question corresponds to what you just said, leading to your leadership, your entrepreneurship ventures, and your young talents that you are nurturing, the new generation. And I've got to say, my favorite all-time Latin dancers is the under 21s. They have just incredible talent. The talent is just out of this world. They're just absolutely just incredible. I don't know how they just do it. But the new generation of talents are coming. And for our viewers listening, what if an individual has artistic, passion? They have um, they have everything going for them, but they don't have the support. How how would you advise anybody who wants to get into dance because they have the artistic, passion, they have the flair for it, they know that they're ready? What advice would you give to someone?
I would give us very simple advice. Just push yourself, follow your gut feeling, follow your instinct, follow your passion, follow your heart. The heart will never lead you anywhere wrong.
Mm,
It's if you really truly crave to be on stage and dance and pursue that dream and be a competitor, or even just to learn a couple of steps for yourself, don't be shy. Just truly go for it. And if you don't have the support, it's not impossible. I mean, it's easier if somebody supports you, but it's not impossible to do it on your own. Again, once I was here, my family was supporting me from afar. It wasn't like they were here holding my hand, like going to, you understand? It's
right,
again, at the end of the day, you're doing something for yourself. So you shouldn't expect other people to be as passionate for your dream because
right.
it's your dream. It's up to you to make it happen. If you truly want something, don't worry about what others will say. Go ahead and do
Mhm,
it. And the power is within you. If you're truly that passionate, if it's really your only wish you have, just go for it. And you can achieve it. It's really
mhm.
possible. Yeah. So that would
Absolutely.
be my advice.
Absolutely. Well, that beautifully said. I absolutely just love that. So, Antoinette, where can people find you and how can we support you best?
Well, I'm very much on social media. I have the websites of the event that I'm hosting, the Danceport Excellence Awards Gala.ca. All the information is there about me, about the event, about the dancers. You'll find biography of all the dancers that were nominated last year. We'll be
Mhm.
posting some pictures of the event that just happened as well. So new information will be coming up shortly. There's going to be information on my Instagram page. I have a few of them. One is for the gala, one is my personal page, and I have few for the art, for
Right.
the shoes, for my dance team. So there's quite a few pages there as well. But yes, anywhere on the internet, if you research, you'll find information and you will see that what's happening, when it's happening. Next gala will happen on January the 9th, 2027. It will be at the
Right.
same venue, Chateau Le Jardin. We're going to follow that tradition. We love the venue loves us. So we're going to continue that partnership going with them. And
Mhm.
for next year, of course, there's going to be some surprise again, just like it was this year. There's going to be some twists and turns. We're going to make things a little bit more different, more exciting for everyone. But as always, the vocal point of the event will be just to support the new generation and not
Mhm.
just the new kids that were, amazing. We have a phenomenal adult dancers, like older couples that are representing the country. They deserve just as much
Amazing.
respect, which is incredible. They would go to the World Championship, would travel, would make finals. So I think they're just as worthy of attention and support and applause, just as the younger kids, especially given they're at certain age already. They're pushing
Right.
themselves
Right.
to be athletes. It's amazing. It's impressive. So I believe everybody deserves a fair chance to be, celebrated. So that's what I am to do.
Absolutely. And, we've got the right, we've got the right person to do that too. You always did like champion everyone else and, we have to. So, Antoinette, it's been such an amazing, just a powerful conversation. I really appreciate your time and, thank you for sharing your incredible journey, your just incredible insights, your career, and, also the artistic passions and the discipline to your entrepreneurship ventures. It truly has just been an incredible just having the conversation with you. And for everyone else who, if you want to get in touch with Antoinetta Popova, you can, find out more about her work at the Danceport Excellence Awards Gala.ca on her website. And you can follow her on Instagram and always stay tuned with your passions because your passions is how you are going to change your lives and we want to encourage you to do so. So thank you so much to each and every
Thank you for
one
having me.
for listening to this powerful conversation. And also, Antoinetta's journey reminds us that passion, discipline, and a kind heart truly does change lives. And Antoinetta is leading the way of making change. So stay with us until next time. Bye for now.
Bye.
Thank
Thank
you,
you so much.
Antoinetta. That's been
Thank you.
amazing.
Thank you.